Good morning. It is 9:05, 9:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. How are you? It's Chris Hand. The show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners. You can get those at betterwater.com. We love those guys. Great sponsors. We got a lot to talk about today. It seems like we made it through these storms over the weekend as close to unscathed as we can get. No major damage, no major tornadoes in the Nashville area, and it looks like we have another smooth week ahead, a quiet week, which is just a blessing after what we had last week. So this week, though, no current severe weather warnings, no current tornado threats. However, currently, the Cumberland River downtown still pretty high. Flooding risks still pretty high. River flooding is going to be an issue today and tomorrow. Don't cross flooded roads. Don't go find another way. Thank me later. But don't do that. Other than that, it looks like we're in the clear, which again, massive blessing. And if you're dealing with storm damage, we'll send a prayer your way. You're dealing with loss. We hear you. Not everybody is as lucky as everyone else. But it does seem like for the overwhelming majority, we have gotten out of these storm systems as unscathed as we can be, and that's a good thing. Over the weekend, a lot of people belly aching about the stock market. They are very upset. Very upset. The stock market has taken a tumble, and Japanese markets were having issues last night. Asian markets were having issues last night. We'll see what happens with the stock market today. It's currently down a little bit, but I'm not overly stressing about it. I understand some people are. And I understand if this was the week you were planning to retire and you're relying on that 401k, I do. I completely understand how this is aggravating and upsetting to you. If you are not one of those people, I think you need to be patient. You need to zoom out. You need to take a deep breath, and you need to understand that this is going to be fixed, I think, relatively quickly. I do. You got all these countries coming in, trying to make deals with Trump, trying to negotiate already. You have former commerce secretaries saying these tariffs aren't going to be in place in the back half of 2025. You're seeing oil prices absolutely plummet. I mean, the oil prices, they're at the lowest that they have been in quite some time. For the first time in 4 years, crude oil has slipped below $60 a barrel. Inflation, very, very low right now. We're seeing a lot of good things happening despite what you're seeing in the stock market. Donald Trump posting a message on Truth Social. This is about a minute before the top of the hour here. The United States has a chance to do something that should have been done decades ago. Don't be weak. Don't be stupid. Don't be a panikin. A new party based on weak and stupid people. Be strong, courageous, and patient, and greatness will be the result. I just think that we need to underline patient. We got to be patient. We have to. We have to be patient. This rebuild of the economy is not something that was designed to fix overnight. Okay? It's not. It's not. They are building a firm, new foundation for the American economy. That's what we're seeing. We're seeing record investment, trillions upon trillions of dollars from foreign countries and businesses coming back into the United States. We haven't even seen the ripple effect from those investments yet. We haven't. Jobs numbers looking pretty damn good, if I do say so myself. Yet the Democrat talking point currently is, Republicans, they're souring on Trump. They're souring. Are you soured on Donald Trump? 615-737-9986. Because that's the talking point. That's been the major talking point all weekend. Republicans, they've soured on Trump. The funny part about all of that is that, well, the polling doesn't show that at all. In fact, new polling just dropped and Trump's approval rating has rose. Yet the Democrats still constantly say Republicans are souring on Donald Trump. Little audio, Mason.
And I invite you to come.
I will go. We'll go together. I'll come with you. You come to
Eloquent. The town halls that we have been doing, where we are seeing Republicans and Democrats alike. I went to a county that Trump won by 20 points. Hundreds of people showing up and saying, I'm a Republican. I voted for Trump, and this is not what I voted for.
Let me just.
This is not what I voted for. It's Republicans at town halls, you see. It's those dastardly Republicans. I mean, we talked about last week how they're flooding the zone on those town halls, and people are going in to disrupt from the inside as opposed to protesting from the outside, and they'll go in and say, I'm a Republican, and this isn't what I voted for. I'm very disappointed. And it's a fabrication. It's a ruse. I don't know about you. This is exactly what I voted for. This is what we need. We need to eliminate the bad trade deals of decades past, and we need to get back to an American first economy. That's what we're seeing. Oh, Republicans are souring on Trump. Well, that's weird, because if you look at the new polling numbers from the Daily Mail, they polled over 1,000 voters between March 31st and April 3rd, and Trump's popularity has actually increased from 49% to 53%. That is during the same time, mind you, where Trump announced the widespread tariffs. That is during that same exact period, people liked him more. Are Republicans souring? Is that what souring looks like? I don't know. The Daily Mail reported that despite backlash Trump has gotten from some surrounding tariff policies, his approval rating is up 13 points for those aged 18 to 29 since March 7th. Trump also saw a 6-point increase among Democrats as well as independent voters, according to this survey. Is that a good thing? That's good, right? I think that's good. I think that's So that's different from souring, right? That's a bit different from souring.
Just a bit.
The universal 10% tariff that was proposed by Trump has more Americans in support of it than opposing it. According to the poll, 36% of those surveyed support the policy, 28% opposed. The remaining 36% were unsure of what to think. 39% of voters supported the increase of tariffs on all imported goods, while 37% opposed such a proposal, 24% unsure. There has been speculation regarding what will come of these policies. Trump has previously said that he is open to negotiating tariffs and trade deals with other countries, but has also signaled that tariffs are here to stay. But the numbers show that people either support it more so, or they're just going to wait and see. I think the wait and see is the right approach. We're not 100% sure what's going to happen. Let's be perfectly honest. All we can do is speculate. All I know, all that I can point to, is that the way that we've been doing it wasn't working. The way that it was set up was America last. The way Trump is trying to set it up is America first. Better for the American economy, better for the American worker. Why not give it a try? Scott Bessent, who I think we can all agree is light years better than Janet Yellen ever could have imagined in her entire life of being. And Scott Bessent doesn't accidentally go to China and accidentally eat some magic mushrooms while dealing with Chinese dignitaries. He was sitting down with Tucker Carlson, and he made the same point. Listen, this is what we have to do. It's going to work, right? And he says that it's because what they were doing wasn't working.
The people who are hoping that yesterday's move will lead to a demonstrably brighter future within 4 years, is it your sincere prediction that within 4 years we'll say, actually, that kind of worked?
I believe that it's going to work, and I know that what we were doing wasn't working.
Yes.
I know what we were doing wasn't working.
So I think we have to try this, and I have a high confidence ratio it's going to work. And I have a very high confidence ratio. The good news is we have President Trump's previous term when everyone said none of this was going to work. The China tariffs are going to do this, they're going to cause inflation. They didn't. This is going to happen to working class. It's going to be bad for working class Americans. Well, guess what? Working class Americans, the hourly workers did better than supervisory workers. The bottom 50% of households, their net worth increased faster than the top 10% of households. And look, I'm not happy with what's going on in the market today, but the distribution of equities across households, the top 10% of Americans own 88% of equities, 88% of the stock market. The next 40% owns 12% of the stock market. The bottom 50 has debt. They have credit card bills, they rent their homes, they have auto loans, and we've got to give them some relief. That I was struck by the statistic from last year.
That's the message right there. Just as a bystander, I'm like, wow, okay.
Yeah, honestly, that's the message. We've got to give them some relief. Finally, an administration that's looking towards that. It doesn't seem like the Biden administration gave a damn. I mean, remember for years, inflation, it's transitory. What inflation? Don't worry about that. Okay, it's pretty bad. All right, full disclosure, it's downright awful. The Democrats never had the same energy for that kind of issue, right? No. They told us we have the best economy in the world. What are you worried about? Stop belly aching. Okay. What this administration is trying to do is set up the middle class. I'm here for it. Now, the Democrats, they just go back to their talking points, and it does seem like a lot of these talking points are just a rehash of the first Trump term. Adam Schiff was on with Kristen Welker on Meet the Press over the weekend, and he says, Trump is wrecking the economy. Somebody listen to me.
Here, let's start off by talking about President Trump's tariffs. He calls this an economic revolution. He says that these tariffs are necessary to reset the global economic order and so that the United States is treated fairly on the world stage. How do you respond to that? Do you agree with any part of that?
I don't agree with any part of that, and unfortunately, he's wrecking our economy. I think people have seen their retirement savings on fire, and there he is out on the golf course. That may end up being the most enduring image of the Trump presidency, that is the president out on a golf cart while people's retirement is in flames.
When was the last time Adam Schiff was right about anything? One thing. Just one.
Don't you love the way they rolled the B tape of President Trump on the golf course just in time for him to have that to say?
Yeah. And don't you love how the last time he was on the golf course, he was also bombing terrorists, taking in between breaks,
Yes.
he can't do any work on the golf course.
Yeah.
Well, who was he golfing with, Adam? Was he golfing with someone important? Was there other things happening at the exact same time? Well, that's the enduring image of the Trump administration. He's out on the golf course. And retirement savings are burning. Where was the energy when inflation was wrecking the nest egg of so many Americans? Nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. And again, I go back to when's the last time Adam Schiff has been right about anything? When you listen to these people kvetch and scream and lose their mind and, someone think of the little guy. Okay. Where was that energy before? And when was the last time you were right about something? Those are two questions that I would say you have to ask yourself. And then you kind of land on where these individuals' motivations are. It's anybody but Trump, right? Orange man bad. That's what we get.
The Treasury Secretary saying that people aren't looking at where the retirement savings are. Maybe he doesn't have to. He's got the wealth. He doesn't have to. Maybe the president with his wealth doesn't have to. But what I'm hearing from Californians is those that have just retired, those who are on the eve of retiring, they're terrified of this. And I hope and pray we stay out of recession. But if we head into a recession, it will be the Trump recession.
You know that he doesn't actually hope and pray to stay out of a recession, right? It's actually quite the opposite. They are just keeping everything on them crossed, hoping for that recession, because they want to use it as a talking point. That not because they give a damn about you or your family, but because the talking point is going to be more important than you or your family. These people, we could absolutely have the best economy in the world, a roaring stock market. They could be mailing gold bricks to Americans every day via Doge savings. And they'd say, well, we could be headed towards a recession. They're rooting against America constantly. It is maddening. How does this guy keep getting elected? I keep getting calls from Californians. You know what they're saying? They're worried about their retirement savings being burned. It's like, the same people that can't rebuild their properties in the Palisades, those people are worried about their retirement savings. Okay. All right. Interesting. That's Adam Schiff. Trump, on the other hand, Trump, he loves the tariff. He's a big fan of the tariffs, obviously. He posted on True Social over the weekend saying, "We have many financial deficits with China, the European Union, and many others. The only way this problem can be cured is with tariffs," all caps, which are now bringing tens of billions of dollars into the USA. They are already in effect, and a beautiful thing to behold. The surplus with these countries has grown during the presidency of Sleepy Joe Biden. Presidency was in quotes, by the way. The presidency of Sleepy Joe Biden. We're going to reverse it and reverse it quickly. Someday people will realize that tariffs for the United States of America are a very beautiful thing. Now, it's not just Trump touting this. You got a lot of people from the Trump administration coming out. Mainly, the main voices that I've been listening to are Howard Lutnick and Scott Bessent. Both very, very smart guys. Howard Lutnick lays out why we aren't going to be postponing any of these tariffs, why they're going to be in place for days and weeks, and people need to get used to them, and we'll play you that audio when we get back. It's 9:21 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
the flooding continues in Nashville in the wake of all those storms, and the Trump administration fighting back after a judge orders the return of a man linked to MS-13. Those stories coming up here at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
The best part of that story, Joan,
Yeah.
and I don't want to spoil your newscast, but was the response from Nayib Bukele on X.
Oh.
It was the best.
Will you be doing it after the news?
I will.
Yeah.
I'll mention it after the news. I don't want to spoil what you got going on,
Okay,
but I'll bring it up when we get back. But
It's a change of heart for you, huh?
I know. I'm trying to be better.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be better. Why are we taxing islands that are only inhabited by penguins, Howard Lutnick? Oh, you want to give me some audio? Thank you, Mason.
Why are the Heard and McDonald Islands, which don't export to the United States and are quite literally inhabited by penguins, why do they face a 10% tariffs? Did you use AI to generate this?
Did you use AI? You know, it's funny. We talked about this. We talked about the Penguin Islands with Monica Page as we did our This Week in the White House wrap up on Friday. And Monica said pretty much the same thing Howard Lutnick says here. It's like, no, this is to stop a workaround from the tariffs that we put in place.
No, the idea is
Why
that there
are
no
they on the
countries
list?
left off. Because the idea, what happens is if you leave anything off the list, the countries that try to basically arbitrage America go through those countries to us. Any country, like we had tariffs, the president put tariffs on China, right, in 2018. And then what China started doing is they started going through other countries to America.
Right.
They just built through other countries through America. And so the president knows that. He's tired of it, and he's going to fix that. So basically he said, look, I can't let any part of the world be a place where China or other countries can ship through them.
So it's not just about the penguins. It's not just about the penguins. No.
Obviously.
No, it was never about the penguins. But they'll use that. They'll right? Like they'll use anything that they can use. He's tariffing the penguins. No. He's tariffing the loopholes. And when it comes to the tariffs, Howard Lutnick says there is no postponing. They are definitely going to be staying in place. And you need to get used to them. I'll bring you what Howard Lutnick said when we get back. It's 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. It's now 9:30. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Got that rolling roadblock continuing to cause some problems this morning. It's on 840 eastbound now at Lewisburg Pike, exit 30. Stop and go up from Columbia Pike to that point. We'll keep on top of where it is all morning long. Well, the rain is gone, but the flooding continues in the Nashville area. TEMA Director Patrick Sheehan tells Channel 4 that these issues may impact your commute all week long.
Time for that water to recede. In some places, it could take weeks. So if you have roads that are covered in water, we ask that you turn around and don't drown.
Yeah, there are some washed out roads, some still covered in water even this morning. Some areas received between 4 and 6 inches of rain over the weekend. A federal judge over the weekend ordering the Trump administration to return a Maryland father mistakenly deported to a prison in El Salvador by midnight tonight. But it appears that the attorney general is prepared to dig in and argue that decision. ABC's Rhiannon Alley.
The judge says the government has given no proof that Abrego Garcia was a gang member. The Trump administration is asking an appeals court to intervene, arguing because Abrego Garcia is in El Salvador, they cannot demand his return. And they say the judge has no power to order the U.S. government to even negotiate his return.
Now, Abrego Garcia is a Salvadoran national in the U.S. illegally since 2012. In 2019, he was deemed a danger because of his ties to MS-13, and he was detained for months, but a judge ultimately decided he would face persecution by a different gang if he were deported back to his home country, so he was allowed to stay here in the U.S. Let's take a peek at stocks right now. You know, they're off their lows. The Dow Jones Industrials are now down 746. NASDAQ falling 124 now. That's less than 1%. And the S&P 500 index down 61 points. That's the latest news. Weather is up next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, it's Chris Hand from my friends at United Structural Systems, USS. Why could you possibly need USS? Well, with all the rain that we've had in these past few days, you probably know if you have some waterproofing issues. And if you have waterproofing issues, you want to call the best. You want to call the experts. You want to call USSC. USS, they've been doing this for about 30 years, over 30 years. They have over 30,000 satisfied residential customers. How do they get that? Well, they do it by being honest and good people. They don't send a sales guy to your home looking to achieve any kind of quota. They send an expert who's going to create a custom solution for you and fix this problem once and for all. You don't want to keep kicking the can on waterproofing. That water getting into your crawl space, getting into your basement, that's going to lead to mold. It could lead to wood rot. It could lead to all sorts of nasty stuff. Get it fixed today. We may have a lull in the rain for a little bit. Now is your window of opportunity to call USS and get that waterproofing issue fixed once and for all. 615-488-7855. 615-488-7855. Online at USSTN.com. $36 minutes past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. All right, Joan, so during that newscast, you had the story about the judge, Paula Zenas, ordering Trump to return that suspected MS-13 gang member from the El Salvadorian prison.
Yep.
So End Wokeness posted this on X, and the president of El Salvador took what's the movie where Kevin Hart plays the bunny? Do you know? Is that Secret Life of Pets?
That sounds right.
I think it's Secret Life of Pets.
Yeah.
So there was a bunny played by Kevin Hart in Secret Life of Pets. Bit of a wild bunny. Bunny that didn't take no gruff from nobody. Right? Is that a good explanation?
Tough bunny.
Yeah, it was a tough bunny. So End Wokeness says, breaking. Judge Paula Zenas orders Trump to return a suspected MS-13 member from an El Salvadoran jail, to which Nayib Bukele, the president of El Salvador, quoted the tweet and posted just the bunny. Not very impressed. He's not very impressed. I love it. It's like, oh, this judge thinks she's the president of El Salvador now. It's no, it's not going to work out. All right, so we were talking about the economy, and I didn't mean to get squirreled off there by Nayib Bukele and Joan Jones, but I did.
Just a little rabbit hole.
Ha! Oh, good one. Love it.
I like that.
Yeah.
But before we were talking about these tariffs, and the market has just been insane. I don't know. Are you paying attention to the market numbers back there, Joan?
Of course I am.
So apparently there was a quote attributed to Kevin Hassett. And Kevin Hassett in the Trump administration apparently said that they were considering a 90-day pause on tariffs for everyone except for China. And then it gets put on the Chiron on Fox News. CNBC sees it. They run with it. And the markets surge 8%. And then everybody kind of looks around and they go, well, where did that quote come from? And nobody can figure out where the quote came from. And then markets just plunged 3.5%.
This is like whisper down the lane.
It's like the fake news gets everybody excited.
Yeah.
And then they go, oh, never mind. Never mind.
Crazy.
If they were listening to the Chris Hand Show, I could have played audio from over the weekend where they said that tariffs aren't going anywhere. Listen, they're not. I don't think they are. I hope that they don't institute a 90-day pause. Like, let's grit our teeth and bear this for the moment. I think that that's the best move, personally. I could be wrong. I'm not an economist. I'm not a finance guy. I'm just an average American who sees the vision of what they want to do, and I hope that they can achieve it.
President Trump is warning people not to be a panicking.
Yeah, don't be a panicking. Don't be a panicking.
Love that.
No, me too. But they said, okay, is there any chance of these tariffs being postponed? This was yesterday on CBS's Face the Nation. Howard Letnick's on there with I really don't care, Margaret, and he's sitting there talking with Margaret, and he says, no, there is no postponing these tariffs.
We're going to protect all the factories that come to America, and that's what's coming here. So
okay,
the
is the
president
10% tariff
He's going to
permanent?
protect them. Well, remember, this is a national security issue.
I got it.
And
Is the
he needs
10%
to address
tariff
our budget
permanent?
deficit.
I mean, first of all, she's very rude, right? Like, is that just me? I got it.
So rude.
I got it. Is it permanent? It's like, Margaret, calm down. Calm down, Margaret.
That, the laws of America are the laws of America. He would like it to be that we need to protect the companies that invest here, and we are going to protect the companies that invest here. That is the policy of the United States of America. That's why trillions of dollars are coming here. The ripoff of the United States of America is over. All these companies are going to come and invest here. That's what they're doing. That's why they've committed trillions of dollars. They know this is the economy.
Mr. Secretary,
this is the place to go.
Mr. Secretary, the campaign's over. You won. So I'm asking what the plan is.
Yeah, I mean, she is
so rude.
A vile woman. She is awful. You won. We get it. It's like, well, I mean, cope and seethe. Cope and seethe. We did win, didn't we? This is the plan. Are the tariffs going anywhere, Mr. Letnick?
So the Treasury Secretary said on another network, we're going to hold the course. It's not the kind of thing you can negotiate away in days or weeks.
So the Treasury Secretary said that, and I'm looking for a different answer from you, and I'm going to be rude and obnoxious and press you until you say the exact same thing.
That makes it sound like the tariffs are staying in place at least for days or weeks.
Very astute, Margaret. Very astute.
Is that correct, or is the president considering postponing implementation to negotiate?
There is no postponing. They are definitely going to stay in place for days and weeks. That is sort of obvious. The president needs to reset global trade. Everybody has a trade surplus, and we have a trade deficit. We are paying away our future and our lives. The countries of the world are ripping us off, and it's got to end. The president has made it crystal clear. This is the policy we are going to protect The factories that come build in America, we are going to protect them. They're going to be successful. That's why they're going to build in America, the greatest economy in the earth. All of these companies are going to come and build here.
Oh, you're upset, Margaret? I really don't care. She is one of the worst people in TV media currently. And she's really going for that throne of like the most vile Trump hater. And you know what? Hey, you got to have goals. You got to have goals. Nobody wants to be stagnant, right? Even Margaret wants to reach new levels of Trump hate. President Trump was asked about the trade deficits and making deals with other countries, and there have been a lot of other countries that have been coming to the table. It was reported over the weekend about 50. I'm sure that has increased since then. 50 different world leaders coming to the table to talk with President Trump. This is him on Air Force One last night.
Market has spoken when they look at the fact that we have $1 billion trade deficit. When you look at the trade deficit that we have with certain countries, way over $1 billion per country. But with China, it's $1 trillion. And we have to solve our trade deficit with China. We have $1 trillion trade deficit with China. Hundreds of billions of dollars a year we lose with China. And unless we solve that problem, I'm not going to make a deal. Now, I'm willing to deal with China, but they have to solve their surplus. We have a tremendous deficit problem with China. They have a surplus of at least $1 trillion a year. I think it's like $1.1 trillion. And I want that solved. And no other president's taken it on. I had to take it on the last time, and then we had a rigged election. No other president's taken it on. And so China is, they say the market's spoken. China is right now taking a big hit because everyone knows we're right. They have to pay tariffs because otherwise we have a surplus, and they have a surplus with us that is not sustainable.
He's right. Also, the Trump administration is officially calling the news of a 90-day tariff pause fake. Rapid response on Twitter pointing out that was fake news. It felt like fake news. Also, it's kind of funny that and Intel Doge on X posted this, which is just, it nailed. My friend Aaron sent me this. You can just lie on the internet and make the New York Stock Exchange boom for 10 minutes. Holy crap, LMAO. Yeah, that's the current state of the markets. What a mess. So the White House has confirmed that the 90-day tariff pause is fake news. They are holding the line, and they're responding to this currently as it becomes more of a news story. So what had happened was somewhere along the lines, a quote was attributed to Kevin Hassett that said they were basically thinking about a 90-day pause on all the tariffs. This is like just breaking currently. And they were thinking about a 90-day pause on all the tariffs. And the markets, they jumped. They surged about 8% on the news of a 90-day pause on tariffs. But it was spoiled very quickly because it was fake news. And then the markets immediately fell about 3.5%. The White House is now sending out their people to address this on CNBC.
She tells me it is, quote unquote, fake news that the White House is considering a 90-day pause. So the White House pouring cold water on this idea, wherever it came from, that they are considering a 90-day pause on tariffs, saying that the president is committed to his tariff regime, and any reports that he's considering a 90-day pause are, quote, fake news.
Fake news. Our quote, I love how he's listening to a reporter voice. Our quote, fake news. If you listen to these guys over the weekend, I feel like this report never would have passed the smell test. And as it was coming in real time, I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Because I have clip after clip of Howard Lutnick saying the tariffs are here to stay. I have clip after clip of Kevin Hassett saying the tariffs are here to stay. I have clip after clip of President Trump saying that these things are working and countries are coming in to negotiate the tariffs. So it smelled like fake news from the jump. But hey, you never know. We gotta follow these stories to their source, and it looks like everybody was following that one to the source, and the source was bunk. President Trump last night on Air Force One talking about the deficits that we have with the European Union and China.
I do want to solve the deficit problem that we have with China, with the European Union and other nations. And they're going to have to do that. And if they want to talk about that, I'm open to talking. But otherwise, why would I want to talk? And as you know, because of the tariffs, we have $7 trillion already committed to be invested in the United States, building auto plants, building chip companies, and all sorts of companies are coming into our country at levels that we've never seen before. Biden had nothing coming in. This was a dead country with Biden.
Yeah, he's absolutely right. In fact, as far as private investment goes, so not like if you take out the countries that have invested, like Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, but if you talk about just private company investment in America, currently, after what's it been, 70-something days with Trump in office, he has already beat the amount of private investment that Biden had over 4 years. What? Was Biden even doing work? No, he was not. He was not. But they were asking President Trump on the airplane, listen, at what point are you gonna turn around with the tariffs? At what point is there gonna be too much pain in the market where you reverse course? And this is one of those clips where when the news broke a little while ago that, they were considering a 90-day pause, which has turned out to be bunk and fake news. I was like, that doesn't make any sense because of what Trump said yesterday.
Pain in the market. At some point, you're unwilling to tolerate this idea of a Trump put. Is there a threshold?
I think your question is so stupid.
Do you understand why I saw those reports? I was like, how does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Like just yesterday, a reporter says to Trump, is there any point with pain in the markets where you'd consider reversing course? And his answer was, I think your question is so stupid.
That's so funny.
That's just...
In the market, at some point, you're unwilling to tolerate this idea of a Trump put. Is there a threshold?
I think your question is so stupid.
Yeah. I think it's a dumb question.
I think it's I don't want anything to go down, but sometimes you have to take medicine to fix something. And we have such a horrible, we have been treated so badly by other countries.
That's right.
Because we had stupid leadership that allowed this to happen. They took our businesses, they took our money, they took our jobs, they moved it to Mexico, they moved it to Canada, they moved a lot of it to China, and it's not sustainable. We're not going to do it. Now we have hundreds of billions of dollars is pouring into our country. On a monthly basis, it's pouring, it's already started because I put tariffs on. And eventually it's going to straighten out and our country will be solid and strong again.
I'm here for it. And you are seeing that investment coming in. And I know I might sound like a broken record, but we haven't even felt the ripple effect from those investments yet. We haven't. Like the work that Trump is doing right now, we haven't even seen the positive benefits from it. But people say, okay, well, what about relief for the middle class? I mean, let's just go through it. Oil prices, crude oil, lowest it's been in 4 years. We have inflation low, very, very low currently right now. The Fed is deciding if they should cut interest rates. That will help people buy homes. Things are happening that are good in the economy. If you watch the talking heads on TV, they'll say everything is bad. But listen, we could be making so much money that Trump could be paving our roads in gold, and they would have something negative to say about it. Make no mistake about that. It's 9:51 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, it's Chris Hand from my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. I got the phone call from Busy Bee just over the weekend. They said, hey, Chris, you're a Beehive Club member. You haven't gotten your AC tuned up. When can we do it? I said, well, you guys come on through this week. I said, how long will it take? They said, a couple hours. No big deal. I said, perfect. And that's how we make sure that my AC is running at maximum peak efficiency all summer long. Are you a member of the Beehive Club? You really should be. Right now, they're offering $50 rebates on every tune-up. Now, if you sign up for the Beehive Club membership, it's $99 per unit. So if you're doing some quick napkin math, The Beehive Club membership gives you 3 annual tune-ups. If it's a $50 rebate each tune-up, are they paying you to join the Beehive Club? It sounds like it. It certainly sounds that way. And there's so much value in it. You get 3 annual tune-ups, 10% off all repairs, front-of-the-line service, a $100 annual accrued replacement credit with a maximum of $1,000, no overtime or holiday fees, and exclusive Beehive member promotions. Join the Beehive Club today. Call Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, 615-775-7833, 615-775-7833, online, busybeehvac.com.
Did you know you're overpaying for your health and wellness products?
With over 20 company-owned brands offering its members vitamins, supplements, wellness, and skincare products, you're able to save up to 70% off retail.
Members Nutrition can't change your life, but we can change the way you live.
Which rivers are running high right now? We'll let you know. Also, gardeners, beware. There's a frost on its way. We've got those stories coming up here at 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. We got Mason Fleming producing. We got you guys jumping in the YouTube chat. We're live on Super Talk TV, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and X. Hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with your friends. No matter where you're listening, there's a share button. So do that. We appreciate it. Helps feed the kids. Helps get them into summer camp. And you wouldn't want them to go without summer camp, would you?
Yeah, they're not looking forward to cardboard boxes right now. Cardboard boxes in the garage.
I said with imagination, anything could be summer camp. And they said, Dad. All right, like and subscribe. I'll get them to a good camp. I promise.
Those poor kids.
I said, just deal with it.
Get them some
They
crayons.
said, we don't even have markers. I said, with imagination, who needs it? So if you don't want the kids to have to go to Camp Imagination, it's on you. Like, share, subscribe. We appreciate it. All right, so we were talking about the market being just absolutely bananas, which is just, I don't know, it's just so perfect that the market reacts to fake news and then surges and then plunges when they find out it's fake news. It's like high school girls in a rumor. Everybody gets all like, huh. And then they realize it was just a lie. And they're like, oh, okay. I tracked down the clip, by the way. This is the clip that made them put a chyron on Fox News that said, Trump could have a 90-day pause on tariffs. And then CNBC sees that and they run with this story, which then turns into fake news. This was the clip in question.
Will you do a 90-day pause? Would you consider that?
Or Bill, yeah, I think that the president is going to decide what the president's going to decide. There are more than 50 countries in negotiation with the president. We've got the prime minister of Israel coming today. We've had a reach out overnight from Taiwan. And but I would urge everyone, especially Bill, to ease off the rhetoric a little bit. The fact is that say 10% baseline tariff is on 14% of GDP. That's about how much trade we have, how many imports. And so 86% of GDP is affected by the deregulation and the tax cuts and everything else.
Did you hear that? Tariffs are getting a 90% pause. No, of course you didn't hear that. He didn't say that. Yet somebody heard that and said, 90-day pause incoming for everybody except for China. CNBC ran with it. The markets reacted. And then when everybody got calmed down, they find out it's fake news. Markets back down.
Cheap fakes.
It's a bunch of cheap fakes. Depending on how far the markets fall today, it'll be very cheap fakes.
Cheap fakes.
You know, there's a lot of people that are just salivating at buying up everything in the stock market right now, right? Like you understand that. Like, buy when there's blood in the streets, right? Like that old line. Yeah. Yeah. Some people are going to clean up on this. Unless you were retiring today, this week, tomorrow, and you're looking to cash in on that nest egg, take all of this with patience. I completely understand if you were going to retire today or tomorrow, why you're a little bit pissed and why you're kind of freaking out. I get that. But wait a month. That's the best advice that anybody could give you who is not a financial advisor or planner, which is me. Just be patient. I think that the plan is going to work, but the plan is going to take time. It's 10 o'clock. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Well, hello there. It is 10 o'clock. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. The forecast is pleasant for the first time in days, at least for later this afternoon, but the impact of our storms remains. Now, flooding has impacted wastewater treatment plants in Humphreys, Robertson, Henry, and Decatur counties. And we still do have some power outages as well. NES has reported that as many as 2,200 customers were without power at the start of the day. At this point, we're looking at about 1,700, so they're still working working on it this morning to get everyone back online. The Cumberland River in Clarksville is running high, cresting at the moderate flood stage. Forecasters expect the water levels to begin to recede today. The Duck River in Centerville, that's still rising, and it is also in the moderate flood stage. The Tennessee River, that's on the rise. It is in the minor stage right now. Well, the worst of the storms pounded Tennessee Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Now, TEMA is confirming there were 10 people who died as a result. All of them were in West Tennessee, and the bulk of them occurring in McNairy County. Gardeners, if you've already put your plants in, you'll want to know this. We are expecting a frost tonight and tomorrow night around here. A cold weather pattern has settled in after the storms passed by. A crash and a fire snarled traffic early this morning on I-24, and we have more details now. News 2 says this happened near Joby Jackson Parkway in Murfreesboro in the westbound lanes about 6:30 this morning. It was a crash that involved several cars. One of them caught fire. Rutherford County rescue crews transported several people to Ascension St. Thomas Hospital. We don't know the cause of that crash right now. President Trump is hosting Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at the White House today.
The two got on the phone over the weekend when the Israeli Prime Minister was in Hungary on a diplomatic visit. They talked a little bit about tariffs, and according to the Israelis, President Trump said, "Come to Washington. Let's really talk about it." There's other issues on the agenda as well. So the Prime Minister will be meeting today at about 1 o'clock Eastern with President Trump.
That's ABC's Jordana Miller at the White House. Today's talks will primarily deal with the stalled ceasefire talks and to release more hostages. Well, stocks are trending higher right now. It comes after the White House is denying that President Trump is considering a 90-day tariff pause. Still, that may be having an effect on stocks because the Dow Jones Industrials right now are down just 70 points. The NASDAQ is now 186 points higher. And we've got the S&P 500 index up as well. It's gaining 39 points. Stay tuned. This could be rocky all day long. That is the latest news. Weather is up next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
10:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chris Hand. Moments ago on X, Donald Trump saying the United States has a chance to do something that should have been done decades ago. Don't be weak. Don't be stupid. Don't be a panicking. A new party based on weak and stupid people. Be strong, courageous, and patient, and greatness will be the result. He said oil prices are down. Interest rates are down. The slow-moving Fed should cut rates. Food prices are down. There is no inflation. And the long-time abused USA is bringing in billions of dollars a week from the abusing countries on tariffs that are already in place. This is despite the fact that the biggest abuser of them all, China, whose markets are crashing, just raised its tariffs by 34% on top of its long-term ridiculously high tariffs. Plus, not acknowledging my warning for abusing countries not to retaliate. They've made enough for decades, taking advantage of the good old USA. Our past leaders, air quotes, are to blame for allowing this and so much else to happen to our country. Make America great again. That was Donald Trump. I think those messages were posted on True Social a little bit before X. I know the panicking one was for sure. But the point he made about China is absolutely right. China's had the worst single-day stock market crash since 2008. They're definitely going to be feeling this. And in the meantime, we have a lot of other countries coming to the table. 50 countries have come to the table to discuss tariffs. That was broken by Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins on Sunday's CNN State of the Union show with Jake Tapper. And Rollins said, I think it's really important to realize that last Wednesday was when the president announced this new American order, the new American plan. We're now 2 days in, right? You've got 2 days of data. She went on to continue, I think we'll see in short order a really positive outcome from this. We've already had 50 countries, 50, that have come to the table over the last few days, over the last few weeks, that are willing and desperate to talk to us. We are the economic engine of the world, and it's finally time that someone, President Trump, stood up for America. Amen. 50 countries coming to the table. 50. It's so nice. It's so nice of these countries to not want the tariffs to be a tax on our citizens. All right, I stole that joke from 8652 on the text line, but I liked it a lot, so I'm gonna use it as my own. How kind of these 50 countries to really be looking out for the American citizens and not want them to be taxed by these tariffs, right? Oh, yeah, I nailed it. 8652. Great comment. 615-737-9986 if you want to join the conversation. You can do it on the text line. You can do it on the phone lines. You can watch the show live. It's brought to us by our friends at Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. They got the whole stream up, and we are live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with your friends, whether you're on any of those platforms. Hit the share button. We do appreciate it. Trump talking last night on Air Force One, and he says we're not pulling back on tariffs. It's a stupid question, but he also said we put a big tariff on Europe, and they're coming to the table as well, which is good news. This is exactly what we wanted from these tariffs, right? The negotiation, the recalibration of world trade.
Elon Musk has said he hopes for zero tariffs between the U.S. and Europe. Is that a place you'd like to also get to?
Well, the problem is that Europe has made a fortune with us. You know, Europe also has had a tremendous surplus with the United States. Europe has treated us, it's a little smaller, but they've treated us very, very badly. China has, but Europe has also. Europe has been very, very bad to us. Europe has taken our leaders for a ride. They don't take our cars. They don't take our food products. They don't take anything. And we take their cars, Mercedes, Volkswagen, BMW. You know, we take their millions of cars. They take no cars. They don't take our farm product. They don't take anything. Europe's treated us very badly. We put a big tariff on Europe. They are coming to the table. They want to talk. But there's no talk unless they pay us a lot of money on a yearly basis. Number one for present, but also for past, because they've taken a lot of our wealth away, and we're not going to allow it to happen.
I love it. The messaging remains steady and clear with Trump. These countries are taking our wealth, and we're not going to continue to allow it. That wealth belongs here in America. It belongs with American citizens. The messaging couldn't be more clear. The EU is ready to negotiate. Their head, what's the head of the EU? Von der Leyen? EU's von der Leyen says that they are ready to negotiate on the U.S. with tariffs, and they will be willing to set up important surveillance task force and more. They want to get a deal done. Everybody wants to get a deal done. They understand having access to the American market, how important that is. But when Trump was talking about the EU, they referenced an Elon Musk clip. And Elon did say over the weekend that he hopes that that Europe and America could move into a zero tariff situation. And I would just point out that that's going to be on Europe. You got to bring yours down to zero if you want to bring ours down to zero. President Trump made the comment about BMW and Mercedes and Volkswagen, and he's absolutely right. In a perfect world, do we have a 0-0 relationship? Yeah, in a perfect world. But they got to step up first. This is Elon Musk over the weekend.
I hope that I hope that the United States and Europe can establish a very close partnership. We obviously are, there's an alliance already, but I'm hopeful that there can be a very close relationship with America and Europe. And I'm hopeful, for example, with the tariffs, that at the end of the day, I hope it is agreed that both Europe and the United States should move, ideally, in my view, to a zero tariff situation, effectively creating a free trade zone between Europe and North America. That would be that's what I hope occurs.
I mean, it's a nice thought. I hope it occurs too. But there's a lot of things that need to happen before then. Like, I don't know, us not being the world police and Europe being able to hold their own weight would be a starter, right? The amount of money that America spends in NATO versus European countries, that could be a good starting point. Taking American products, that could be a good starting point. The EU is ready to negotiate. We'll see what happens there, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done. With friends like these, who needs enemies? But countries are coming to the table, 50 of them currently. And Scott Bessent was talking over the weekend, this is on Meet the Press, about just the facts on tariffs during President Trump's first term and what that looks like as we're moving into the meat of the second term. This is Scott Bessent on Meet the Press.
Kristen, what I like is data. And if we look at data from President Trump's first term, and there's a big study that just came out from a group of economists, mostly at MIT, that showed that a 20% tariff on China led to a 0.7% tax or price level increase over 4 years. I think that's pretty good. If we can take in 20% in tariffs and it's a 0.7% increase. And Kristen, the little publicized story this week, everyone wants to look at the stock market going down. You know what else went down? Oil prices went down almost 15% in 2 days.
Nobody's talking about the oil prices. No one. And sorry about coming in hot with that audio. That was a little bit loud. Sorry about that. But he says, listen, if you put a 20% tariff on China, it equates to a 0.7% price increase over 4 years. That's not crazy. It's not. But what people are talking about are the oil prices. And I mentioned it earlier. Oil, for the first time in 4 years, crude oil has slipped below $60 a barrel. Do you have any idea how fast it's going to ripple through the economy? This is a massive win. And you knew that was going to happen. You knew it. I mean, with oil being based off future markets and Donald Trump going out there and yelling, drill, baby, drill, at every campaign stop, at every rally, at every opportunity that he has to yell, drill, baby, drill, he yells it. So people are going to anticipate that there's going to be more supply in the future. That was bound to happen. It's bound to happen. We haven't even... I don't even think we've really started in the energy sector. It's just been Trump saying, drill, baby, drill. And now crude oil, lowest it's been in 4 years, dropping below $60 a barrel.
Which impacts working Americans much more than the stock market does. Interest rates hit their low for the year, so I'm expecting the mortgage applications to pick up.
Well, just to be very clear, though, I mean, during President Trump's first terms, the cost to Americans was nearly $80 billion in new taxes due to his tariffs. Prices did go up on everything from washing machines to tires.
Well, no, but let's go back. The aggregate number was 0.7, so we can discern the individual things. Also, households saw real net wages go up. So if wages go up faster than prices, which is not what happened over the past 4 years, that's why the bottom 50% got eviscerated.
I love Scott Bassett. He's like, oh, I'll take in your narrative-driven talking point and allow me to rip it to shreds for you in about 40 seconds. That's Scott Bassett. That's the people that we have working at the White House now. Now, Trump has been doing a lot very, very quickly. Very quickly. From the secure border to the oil prices to inflation, there's a lot of wins to celebrate. And one Republican went on CNN over the weekend to celebrate those wins.
Secured the border. Border crossings are down 95%. He is deporting tens of thousands of people who have been dangerous, including murderers from New York City. He is also making sure that, look, we've seen mortgage rates come down, inflation has come down, egg prices have come down. These are things you cannot ignore.
No, but the media will. That's Rep. Nicole Maliotakis out of New York, a Republican. These are things you can't ignore unless you're the mainstream media or you're a Democrat, and then you will willfully ignore them.
He's brought home around a dozen hostages, people who were held overseas, and he, within 2 months, was able to get them back. So is there a little concern about the market? Absolutely there is. I think it is a little bit of a over-exaggeration by the market at this moment, and I would equate it to a little turbulence as you move to smooth skies. But you've seen trillions of dollars in investment. You've seen companies saying that they're going to expand operations here. And, of course, a great jobs report the other day, nearly 250,000 new jobs.
So yeah, what is there to argue with that? Again, oil has now dropped below $60 a barrel, first time in 4 years. Trump has secured more private investments in his first 11 weeks than Biden secured over his entire term. But the market. Okay. The market was probably overvalued. This correction is probably much needed. And if you look at it from a more practical standpoint of national security, as Howard Lutnick does, this has been long overdue.
You've got to realize this is a national security issue. I mean, we don't make medicine in this country anymore. We don't make ships. We don't have enough steel and aluminum to fight a battle. Right? All our semiconductors are made overseas, so every button we press when we try to start our car or even use our microwave, these are all semiconductors. They're all made elsewhere. We've got to start to protect ourselves, and we've got to stop having all the countries of the world ripping us off. We have a $1.2 trillion trade deficit, and the rest of the world has a surplus with us. They're earning our money. They're taking our money.
Right.
And Donald Trump has seen this, and he's going to stop it. So it is going to be a big change. Of course it's going to be a big change, but the rest of the world has been ripping us off for all these many years. Donald Trump has seen it. He's spoken about it.
I understand
and he's just
that.
not going to take it anymore, and that's his model.
We're not going to take it anymore. That's the motto. It's 10:21 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, it's Chris Hand here for my friend Jason Whitlock. He's bringing an awesome event to Nashville Roll Call 3.0. It's happening May 2nd and May 3rd. And if you are a fearless man of faith, strength, conviction, this is where you need to be. It's all hosted by Jason Whitlock, featuring none other than Tucker Carlson. And this isn't just another conference. This is a battle cry. This is a call for bold men to stand firm, speak truth, reclaim our culture. Friday night is going to kick off at 3rd and Lindsay with VIP access to a Tucker and Whitlock conversation, plus live country music from Randy Houser and comedy from Steve Byrne. Saturday, they take the party over to Rocketown, where you'll get ready for a full day of powerful speakers like my pastor, Alan Jackson from World Outreach Church, Doug Wilson, Corey Brooks, plus live music from Damian Horn and the Duggar Band. And if you want to get VIP access, well, you can make it happen. You want to meet Tucker Carlson? That's in the cards for you. You want to get breakfast with Jason Whitlock? You can do that too. Spots are limited. Tickets start at just $99, and this event will sell out. Lock in your seat now. FearlessRollCall.com. That's FearlessRollCall.com. Be there, be bold, be fearless. FearlessRollCall.com.
Well, welcome to Whiplash Monday. We're going to tell you what just happened to make the stock market fall right after it posted gains for the first time in days. Wow, this is painful. That and more coming up here at 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
We're not going to say pack your patience, right?
We will not say that.
That's
absolutely not.
We would never say that.
No.
I got some updates. The European Union has offered to remove industrial tariffs on U.S. goods, saying, quote, they're ready for a good deal. Let's make a deal, baby. Let's make a deal. This is from the New York Post. The European Union has floated 0-for-0 tariff resolution with Trump administration after 20% import levies were imposed by Washington last week. Oh, does this mean it's working? Does this mean it's working? We'll get back to you with answers on that. They say we've offered 0-for-0 for industrial goods, as we have successfully done with many other trading partners. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said Monday. Oh, you were already doing this with other people? I thought we were bros. We don't get the same advantage? Could it be that all these countries are ripping us off the way President Trump says they are? I think so. Von der Leyen said, because Europe is always ready for a good deal, we keep it on the table. That was at a press conference moments ago. Global stocks have been plummeting since Liberation Day. But I think this is all going to get resolved relatively quickly. So that's the update from the European Union. Well, we'll see We'll see what else comes out of it. Again, we have crude oil below $60 a barrel for the first time in 4 years. We have seen more private investment under Donald Trump in 11 weeks than we saw under Joe Biden in 4 years. We see inflation. Inflation is way, way down. Interest rates are dropping. Things are actually moving pretty well for your average middle-class American despite the stock market, right? Despite the stock market, things are actually working. Now, a lot of this stuff has to do with the security of America. Make no mistake about it. Howard Lutnick, I played you a clip moments ago. Howard Lutnick saying we don't make anything at home. We don't make medicine anymore. We don't make ships. We don't have enough steel and aluminum to fight a war. This is a national security issue that's also turning into an economic issue. But it's a national security issue first and foremost. Scott Bessent was saying the exact same thing on Meet the Press.
This has been years in the building, years in the making. This unsustainable system, our trading partners have taken advantage of us. We can see that through the large surpluses. We can see this through the large budget deficits. And also, Kristen, this is a national security problem, which we saw during COVID. We saw during COVID that optimal supply chains are not resilient. And what I could say is the only good outcome from COVID is it was a beta test for what would happen if our supply chains got broken. And President Trump has decided that we cannot be at risk like that for our crucial medicines, for semiconductors, for shipping. And we are going to move forward so the American people can know that they are going to have a more secure future.
I'm here for it. And breaking moments ago, Trump has threatened China with more tariffs because of their retaliatory tariffs. He posted this on Truth Social. Donald Trump did. Yesterday, China issued retaliatory tariffs of 34% on top of their already record-setting tariffs, non-monetary tariffs, illegal subsidization of companies, and massive long-term currency manipulations. Despite my warning that any country that retaliates against the U.S. by issuing additional tariffs above and beyond their already existing long-term tariff abuse of our nation will be immediately met with new, substantially higher tariffs over and above those initially set. Therefore, if China does not withdraw its 34% increase above their already long-term trading abuses by tomorrow, April 8th, 2025, the United States will impose additional tariffs on China of 50% effective April 9th. Additionally, all talks with China concerning their requested meetings with us will be terminated. Negotiations with other countries which have also requested meetings will be taking place immediately. Thank you for your attention to this matter. What an absolute beast. He's not playing games with China, believe it or not. Not a fan of China.
China?
He's not. And he said if China wants to do retaliatory tariffs, we'll send some back towards you guys. To the tune of 50%. How do you like that, China?
China?
It's not too good, huh?
China?
Dude, today's going to be wild.
China?
Are you here for it? I'm here for it. It's 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. It's now 9:30. Make that 10:30. And I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Well, we're not talking about tornadoes today. That's the good thing. But we will still have to deal with some flooding.
Flood warnings and flood advisories for parts of the Tennessee River, the adjacent creeks and streams, and parts of the Cumberland as well. So make sure you know what roadways in your area are closed. And remember, if you do encounter a flooded roadway, to never try to drive through it.
Channel 4 Stefano DiPietro there. Damage assessments are underway across Tennessee after several weather days in a row. Tennessee Emergency Management Director Patrick Sheehan.
But in the meantime, Tennesseans that have assistance should let us know. So your county emergency management agencies are standing by with their partners. The State Emergency Operations Center and TEMA are standing by with our nonprofit partners to make assistance available.
He also says to take videos and pictures of any damage to your home and contact your insurance company. You still may be without power this morning. Nashville Electric Service said it was still working to restore about 2,000 customers early this morning. They've chopped that down a bit. Now it's down to 1,481 customers without power. The storms destroyed or damaged 55 utility poles. The Trump administration has taken its fight to keep a Maryland man inside the walls of an El Salvadoran prison all the way to the Supreme Court. It's an emergency appeal that landed at the Supreme Court before 11:59 tonight. That was the deadline established by a district judge to return that man to the U.S. The Trump administration says Armando Abrego Garcia was already established to have had ties with MS-13. And besides, he was in the U.S. illegally. Well, it is whiplash on Wall Street today after the Trump administration said any suggestion that President Trump would consider a 90-day pause on tariffs is fake news. But stocks rose after that. Now, however, President Trump is threatening new 50% tariffs on China if Beijing doesn't remove retaliatory duties. Here's what we look like at this moment. The Dow Jones Industrials down 925 right now. NASDAQ is falling 237. The S&P 500 index is minus 93. That is the latest news. Weather's up next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
37 minutes past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Mason Fleming is producing. And did I see a wild Ken Weaver in the newsroom? Oh,
I'm back, boys.
What's up? How was your vacation, Mr. Weaver?
Wet.
Where'd you guys go?
And windy.
Where'd you go?
Went to Tulsa to see my family.
Okay. All right.
And we had a couple of days, that were nice enough to get outside and do some things. The rest of the time, it was either stormy or windy and cold.
At least you got some nice personal time crammed in a closet together, right?
Yeah. And then the drive home, of course, was just constant thunderstorm and buckets of rain.
Goodness.
So you do it all again. You had a great time.
Oh, yes. Can't wait. But, I mean, it was nothing like what you guys were going through, man. I mean.
No.
It was relentless.
But we did. I mean, like, for as relentless as it was, it could have been much, much worse.
Oh, absolutely.
So I feel pretty good with what we did last week.
Did you guys sleep?
Barely.
Yeah.
Barely. So when you take time off work, Ken, are you taking a break from the news for like mental health? Like I feel like when I try to take time off, I try to do it, but it's so hard, man.
I do. I take a break from it. I mean, and then I start getting caught up. Like last night, actually, at about 8 o'clock is whenever I started getting caught up with everything that was going on here, and then there was just a flurry of activity over the weekend involving, the President Trump and some of his announcements and, the tariffs and that sort of thing. So I'm getting caught up on that. But last week, I pretty much checked out, man, outside of the weather.
Good for you, man.
Outside of the weather.
He didn't miss much. Democrats are still mad. Globalists are still seething. Yeah. Fake news still doing fake news things.
Yeah, I'm seeing on the bot accounts on X that, let's see, the hands-off protests had 1 million people show up in New York City.
Oh, my gosh, the hands-off protests.
And I'm thinking, yeah, right.
It's so...
I mean, I know some people showed up to the protest, but come on.
Yeah, well, and you know what? Those same people all left at the exact same time at the protest. It was so weird.
All across the country.
It's so weird. I had a bunch of friends at the one in D.C. Monica Page, our White House reporter, was there.
Yeah.
And Bo Diddle and our friend Gabe were there. And one of the things that everybody noticed was all of these buses that just so happen to be in D.C. Just like all these charter buses. And so Bo was out there, and I'll try and get him on this week. We'll see if we can get him in. But he was out there. They got attacked by a couple protesters, and their camera was assaulted. They were really going after the camera. They weren't really going after the guys because they know what happens when a camera comes out and their insanity gets exposed and they get made fun of on the internet, and they're not a fan of that.
I don't like that.
So this guy reaches and swipes at the camera and grabs a wire, pulls this wire out. Something happened to the camera. So they brought it back to the hotel room, see if they could figure it out and fix it and to recharge. They said that they had gone back to the hotel room for 30 minutes. 30 minutes. And now this is like, I know where the hotel was. Like they were right there.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Like it wasn't like a 20-minute walk on top of it. They were gone for 30 minutes. They said that when they got back, everybody was gone. It was like, where did this protest go?
Yep, it's over.
Yep. They're only paying us till 4. So unbelievable.
A lot of chartered buses. Oh, yeah. I've seen that, man.
A whole bunch of chartered buses. And then the protesters that were out there were just very embarrassing. They were doing chants. That's something.
All right.
They're big into chants these days. People like the chants, and I like the chants too. I'm under the impression that if the chants continue, the midterms are going to be a slam dunk. This is one of the new ones.
Our course, so we are very big on the chanting, and y'all have all the energy today. So
very big on the chanting. They have all the energy. Are you ready for the chant and the energy?
Yes.
No Trump, no KKK, no fascist USA. No Trump, no KKK, no fascist USA. No Trump, no KKK, no fascist USA.
It's a good one.
It's
a good one.
That's catchy.
You know?
It's got It's got words in it.
It's got words in it. The syllables are all off, though.
Oh,
It's there.
Wonder how long that took him to come up with.
I don't know. That wasn't the worst chant that happened at the hands-off protest in D.C. They had some slimy politicians there as well, as they tend to.
Yes.
As they tend to at these protests. Jamie Raskin was one of those slimy politicians.
Oh.
And he started going off again about the judges that want MS-13 gang members to be brought back to the United States. And the crowd, I feel like this is a bit more organic. The crowd started chanting to the MS-13 gang member, about the MS-13 gang member that's in El Salvador in prison. The crowd started chanting, "Bring him back."
But Judge Boasberg told him that if you got the means to unlawfully deport someone, you find the means to bring them back.
Do they understand how this is going to be used in advertising?
Right.
Like you can see it now. The chant will be underneath them, and it'll be 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungaray raped and murdered by illegal aliens.
Bring them back.
Rachel Marin, mother of 5, murdered by an illegal alien. Children raped by illegal aliens. Human trafficking via illegal aliens. I mean, do they understand that this is red meat? Like this is so easy. What are they doing?
Did you just pause him on a Nazi salute?
Oh, I did accidentally pause him on a Nazi salute. And they're giving out. I thought we were just chanting "No KKK." What is this?
Can't be doing that.
I didn't mean to pause him on a Nazi salute. That's scary.
It's obvious. It's so obvious.
It's obvious. If you're watching on Super Talk TV, on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch, we have the video elements to go along with the audio. And if you're listening in the car, this is an obvious Nazi salute. Mason with the good pickup there.
Hey, I call it like I see it.
That's a Nazi salute.
That's a Nazi salute.
Does this guy own a car company that we can vandalize?
I'm telling you.
I got my keys ready.
Oh, my God.
Go find some Mercedes.
Oh, Volkswagen.
Yeah.
These guys. That is a Nazi salute. That's as Nazi as you can get. Ilhan Omar was there also. And Ilhan, she's upset. She's upset that Trump is a dictator.
We are currently living through a president who wants to be a dictator. In America, we do not accept dictators and we do not accept kings.
Slay, Queen.
We have a billionaire who has bought a seat next to the president, using him as a puppet.
How many dictators allow themselves to be used as puppets? Does anybody know?
I think that's countered.
We have a counter somewhere on this. People used Gaddafi as a puppet, right?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
People used Saddam Hussein as a puppet?
I think so. I think. No, I don't. That doesn't sound right.
Well, Trump wants to be a dictator, and he's doing a terrible job because Elon is using him as a puppet.
American democracy has never been for sale, and it won't be today.
It was for sale for the last 4 years. What is she talking about? It's for sale for the last 4 years. So they're chanting, no Trump, no KKK, no fascist USA. They're chanting, bring him back, in reference to illegal alien gang members and designated terrorists currently, actually. Bring them back. And then Trump wants to be a dictator, and he also is a puppet. He's a puppet dictator. Okay. It couldn't have been all bad, right? It's like there was probably some people there that made some sense, right? Our friend Monica Page, White House reporter, who's going to be joining. She joins the show every Friday now at 10:05 to wrap up the events in the week in the White House of the week, and she went out there and she interviewed some protesters.
What would you say right now is maybe the number one issue to you?
Everything. Name it.
Everything.
Everything. It's everything. Everything is an issue.
Oh my gosh, there are so many.
Everything about this administration is totally dangerous, incompetent, corrupt. It's a kleptocracy for haters.
It's a kleptocracy for haters.
Oh, I thought he said a cruptocracy for haters.
It's
I've never heard that one.
The kleptocracy.
I don't think
for
he
haters.
has either. I think he made that one.
Does he know what kleptocracy means?
Yeah, I've got to look at that.
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
It's the antithesis of democracy.
Like most people here, there's so many issues. We are being attacked on all sides.
I love how she says that.
It's important to point out for those of you that are not watching on Super Talk TV and don't have the benefit of the video element here, this woman is dressed like a clown.
There you go.
It's so
Like
fitting.
not even,
There you go.
not trying to hide it. She's just dressed like a clown. And she's got an umbrella with pizza hanging from the umbrella. Checks out.
Everything.
The rule of law, that Congress stands up and takes back the power that really is our power as our representatives.
I've always been a single issue voter. There's some pretty obvious issues, but my main issue is public lands and climate change.
Now, what do you think
climate
is
change.
the number one issue for you at this time?
Democracy and
Okay. I feel like we've had enough of these people.
Yeah,
Have
I
we?
mean that's why they're in the boat they're in right now.
Yep. Democracy. We are worried about democracy.
Hats off to Monica Page for going through that, though.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Had to talk to so many.
all 5'4" of her. So she's out there in a sea of unhinged leftists, and they actually her reporting got the attention of Elon Musk, because there's this one point where she's interviewing a protester, right? Who has this sign, brand new sign. The sign says "End the kakistocracy" or "kakistocracy." I don't know what it means. But the funny part is when she asked him about the sign, this individual didn't know what the sign meant either. So he had to pull out a sheet of paper that the protester organizers gave him to explain his sign, which may be one of the most embarrassing moments in Democrat protest history.
And what brings you out here today?
What doesn't?
Oh.
Can you explain a little bit for our viewers what this means?
And she points to the sign that says "End the kakistocracy," right? Is it kakistocracy? Kakistocracy?
I think
Kakistocracy?
Yeah, looks like the kakistocracy.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you know what it means?
I have no
idea.
Well, he's got a one-sheeter that'll explain it.
Go ahead.
Where's your handout? You hear that? Hold on. He's unfolding it.
Kakistocracy. Government by the least suitable or competent citizens of a state. Seems to fit, doesn't it?
Oh, that's a nice sign you got there. That you don't know what it means. This is what we're up against. And when the mainstream media is just hammering Trump over the stock market, right? But they're refusing to acknowledge crude oil being below $60 a barrel for the first time in 4 years. They're choosing to exclude the fact that inflation is way down, interest rates are down. They refuse to acknowledge all this. It's because they want to keep the useful idiots like this guy trapped in that mind bleep that the Democrat Party has going on. It's embarrassing. These people are embarrassing. This is your brain on mainstream media. It's 10:51 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Well, President Trump threatening China with a new tariff. We'll tell you about that and other top stories coming up at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver returning from vacation in the newsroom. Welcome back, Ken. We got tariffs and media meltdowns.
I mean, it's all good, dude. I'm ready for it.
Let's go. We're glad to have you back. It's 10:56 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners. You get those at betterwater.com. I'm just reading your texts. You guys are hilarious. 3217 said, I'm so glad my mom and dad gave me plenty of attention when I was growing up, so I don't have to go out like these leftist protesters. I guess idiots need attention, too. A lot of people saying, wish we could figure out how to get paid to go to these protests. It takes some money.
I was thinking the same thing.
Deb on the road wants to talk about the puppets. What's up, Deb?
Hey, Chris, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you, miss?
Doing wonderful, thank you. I admittedly, I am not the brightest bulb on the tree, but for these so-called protesters, are they not the epitome of a puppet? I mean, somebody else is pulling the strings, telling them where to go, what to do, what to say. That guy couldn't even think for himself. He had to pull out a sheet of paper with an answer.
Yep, you're absolutely right. And, you know, the thing about commies and useful idiots is the useful idiots get it first. I appreciate the call, Deb. Let's go to Steve on the road. Steve's got a tariff conspiracy. What's up, Steve?
Excuse me. Hey, Chris, don't forget about all the oligarchies along with all those communists and Nazis that are out there too, right?
This is true. Yeah, I mean, we just spotted another Nazi, Jamie Raskin, clearly throwing up a Nazi salute. It's terrifying.
Yeah. Hey, jump down this rabbit hole with me real quick, man. See what you think. I know me and you kind of think alike, so let me just try to get to it as quick as I can here. So I started kind of digging in a little bit on world trade, looking at the World Trade Organization, how they shut down Bush after 9/11, how Bush tried to raise tariffs a little bit, and basically I came to a conclusion of, all right, we know that Osama bin Laden had his terrorists attack us here, and they wanted to hit the White House. They did hit the Pentagon, but also they hit the World Trade Center towers. All right, so we were all mad about that. We wanted revenge, and we got it for the most part. But has anybody ever really thought about it as just a normal citizen? Ask yourself the question: why did they target the World Trade Center towers? Somebody like Osama bin Laden, was it actually his plan, or was he kind of pulled into using his terrorists to hit the World Trade Center towers for a reason? So, and then you can go even further with, you know, it could have been an inside job. Some people say there was dynamite loaded in the buildings that helped them come down. So there's a whole big mass hysteria still around that theory. But my whole thing is, in the end, it was all about money, and it was all about world trade and attacking us at the same time. So, you know, the whole thing about it is who are the people that were behind the scenes? We know it was some kind of deep state, some kind of world leaders. But if you look at a chart that goes back to before 9/11, and you look at the tariffs, you can find tariff charts, the percentage rates. And when Obama was in power, all the tariff percentages were way down. So basically,
yeah, I mean, hey,
and then all the money went to Iran.
Yeah,
all the money went to Iran. So yeah,
that's a thought. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I haven't spent too